This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, November 7th, 2022. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. Both Republicans and Democrats are turning to their popular past presidents for last-minute assistance on the campaign trail. On Sunday, Seth MacLachlan reports former President Trump rallied supporters in Florida, where Senator Marco Rubio is seeking a third term in the Senate. Trump was also in Pennsylvania Saturday, stumping for Senate candidate Mehmet Oz and gubernatorial candidate Doug Mastriano. Former President Obama was also in Pennsylvania over the weekend, headlining rallies in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia for John Fetterman and Josh Shapiro, the Democratic candidates for Senate and governor, respectively. The key races are coming down to messaging, which has hampered Democrats in the final moments before Election Day. The party's messaging problem is unfolding in statewide elections, Susan Ferricchio reports. That includes New York, where Republican Congressman Lee Zeldin is now in a toss-up race against incumbent Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul. For Democrats, winning swing districts and swing states requires not only getting out the base, but also appealing to less enthusiastic voters and independents who have soured on President Biden. Those voters are far more concerned about the economy. A recent Economist YouGov poll found that 61% of respondents believe the country is in a recession. Analysts and national security insiders warn Iran is poised to emerge from Russia's war in Ukraine as a much more dangerous adversary. For Iran, Ben Wolfgang reports Russia's growing reliance on Iranian-made drones carries a host of benefits, including deeper diplomatic and military ties between the two countries, while Iran becomes increasingly isolated from the West. Yet specialists point to a more troubling motivation. Russia's battlefield use of these drones is giving Iran real-time information on how its unmanned systems perform in a combat zone. That knowledge will guide Iran's efforts to refine its drones to make them more effective. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find our entire lineup of news, commentary, and sports podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. Democrats on the House Ways and Means Committee are asking the Supreme Court to grant them authority to compel the IRS to provide taxpayer information in their legal fight to obtain former President Trump's tax records. Jeff Murdoch reports court watchers and tax experts warn that allowance would mean open season against anyone the party running the House doesn't like, including political rivals. Under a tax code provision, the chairs of Congress's tax writing committees, including the Ways and Means Committee, can order the IRS to turn over financial information on any taxpayer. Although tax documents requested by Congress are supposed to remain confidential, leaks have been commonplace in recent years on Capitol Hill. And finally, Stephen Dinan looks into some of the details of federal contracts awarded to provide care to migrant families. Family Endeavors Incorporated won no-bid contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars from Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the Department of Health and Human Services, despite having no experience with contracts of that size. Some of the details were initially revealed by right-wing group America First Legal, which obtained more than 150 pages of documents from an open records request. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.